Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, it's another big win for gaming unions. Despite several attempts to stop it, Activision Blizzard's quality assurance team at Blizzard Albany voted to form a union. The second under Activision Blizzard, joining Raven Software. The group of 20 or so QA workers called Game Workers Alliance Albany were given the go-ahead on the vote after Activision Blizzard lost its request that the vote be denied back in October. We knew we were going to win, but it's still extremely exciting and gratifying, especially because tomorrow marks the first anniversary of when we started organizing. Blizzard Albany QA tester Amanda Lavin said, "The testers are the lowest paid workers at Blizzard Albany, formerly called Vicarious Visions, a studio known for its work on the Guitar Hero and Crash Bandicoot franchise, according to the Washington Post. We are considering all options with a focus on what is best for all employees and provide the best games for our millions of players," wrote Activision spokesperson Joe Christenot in a statement. "We still believe our entire Albany team should have the right to vote. This is about fundamental fairness and rights for every member of the team." And for clarity, when Activision Blizzard or whoever says stuff like that, what they're really saying is, we've spent a lot of time trying to undermine this union, and one of the things we've done is de-incentivize people to join this union. Maybe give them bonuses or special treatment or items if they don't join the union. And so if we put a vote to the entire group, many people might vote against it because of those incentives. And so it's just another tactic to convince people that, oh, we're being so fair and we just think everything should be fair. And really, they are spending a ton of money to ensure it's not fair. It's just another scummy union busting tactic that here in the States is used all too often. But even that may not have worked, because good for them, said a Blizzard Albany employee who is not part of the quality assurance tester group, speaking on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak to media. "Unionization is an important step to countering the rampant greed that plagues the upper echelons of the tech industry, our government, and the world at large." Damn right. In other news, the world of video game movies is getting a new title. Sifu, also known as the game that kicked my ass for more hours than I want to admit, is getting a big screen adaptation by John Wick creator Derek Kolstad. Now sure, the combat and martial arts aside, which will be very cool, I have no doubt of that, the John Wick team is gonna nail that. But I'm more interested in how they're gonna use the conceit of the game, which is every time you die, you're brought back to life, but older, and how they're gonna work that into the movie. Because the concept of a movie where someone is so driven by revenge that when they die, they age, and they still, seeing themselves age, are still driven for that revenge. There's a lot to work with there, and I think that could be super fun. The question is, do you get a young actor and put makeup on and age them, or do you get an older actor and, you CG or whatever and de-age them? I guess, what part of the movie are we focusing on more? I have no clue. Pretty intriguing, I'll be honest. Speaking of intriguing, sure, it's time for your Cren Minute.
Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to the Cren Minute, my once-a-week segment where I talk about whatever I want for a minute. This week, I'm talking about Dragonflight, because it's all I've been playing, obviously, and it's been great. It's probably been my favorite expansion launch in a very long time. I've enjoyed everything about it, the aesthetic, the music, the questing, the story, some of the quest lines alone are better than the entire Shadowlands story, like straight up. But I've seen a lot of people be like, you know what, don't judge the expansion for a couple weeks. And they're right. You know, normally it takes a few weeks for the expansion to kind of, show itself for what it truly is. But at the same time, I think there's something to actually playing these first few weeks. I've seen people be like, well, I'm not going to play for a few weeks. But why wouldn't you? Because, why wouldn't you play a fun game? It just doesn't make sense. Everybody's having fun. This is really cool. So, if you were to take another game, like a single player game or a game you buy for a console or just a game everybody else is playing, a lot of times you only play those for a couple days. But this one, you're having fun for a few weeks. So, why wouldn't you play it? Just because you're like, well, it's going to get bad after a few weeks. But it's a couple weeks for a game. That's like any other game. If you're like, yo, how much fun is this game? You're like, yeah, you got a couple weeks of gameplay out of it. They'd be like, well, that sounds great. You know what I mean? So either way, I'm having fun. That's all that matters. That's my Cren Minute.
Thanks, Crendor. Well, of course it was about Dragonflight. I've seen his tweets. Anyway, that is it for the show. Thanks so much. See you all Monday for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.